Daniel Hutchins. I told you I was going to come back for a late night video, and because it's after 9 o'clock, that means it's late night videos. So we're only going to be doing one nice long late night video. Because tomorrow is a really long, really crazy day tomorrow. So I also got to go up super early up to the university tomorrow. So, what do we have on deck today? Well, because this is adult content and it's for adult audiences only, that's what I do late night for, my friends. Make no mistakes. As my theme has further justified that if you read my community book. Okay, right now, I'm trying to follow the sport lounge, and it is the end of the 7th inning, and the Nats are beating the Padres by 3. Yeah, this is not looking good. It's not looking good, my friends. My friends out west in San Diego, my brothers and sisters, ladies and germs. It's not looking good out here in where you are in San Diego, California. That south side life or the west side life. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. So yeah, San Diego's losing right now. By a 3-point lose right now against Washington. No, we're not talking about Washington State. No, we're talking about Washington, D.C. District of Columbia. They're losing. They're losing bad. They're losing by 3. But, alright. So, you want to know what happened with the NBA Finals? Okay, what happened with the NBA Finals? Okay, so, who won the NBA Finals yesterday? Yes, it was Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, the OKC Thunder, now became the NBA champions for the NBA Finals yesterday night. About half of my friends were watching it, or at least a good portion of it were. So OKC Thunder, yes, Oklahoma City, is now the 2025 champion of the NBA Finals. I gotta see what the score was. Hold on. OKC score. Okay, what was the OKC score? They won the whole entire thing in their game yesterday. They beat Indy 103-91. Meaning, after 5 games of the NBA Finals, OKC Thunder became the champion. Now, when was the last time they won? When was the last time OKC won the finals? Okay. The last time OKC won the finals, hold on. It's not, oh God. Okay, I'm still looking. Okay, we know what the score was. 103-91. Oh yeah, it wasn't 5 games, it was 7 games. Correction. Correction! Correction. Wasn't 5 games, it was 7 games. And when was the last time they won? It doesn't say. I'm trying to look it up, god damn it. But Microsoft Bing is not making it easy. OKC Thunder all wins. All wins. Okay, hold on. Or no, this is not working. I gotta go every year of the NBA, not the draft, every year of the NBA Finals. Okay, here we go. From our friend's Wikipedia. I hope this is right. Okay, in 1947, it was Philadelphia. In 1948, it was Baltimore. In 1949, Minneapolis. 1950, Minneapolis. 1951, Rochester. 1952, Minneapolis. 1953, Minneapolis. 1954, Minneapolis. 1955, Syracuse. 1956, Philadelphia. 1957, Boston. 1958, St. Louis. 1959, Boston. 1960, Boston. 1961, Boston. 1962, Boston. 1963, Boston. 1964, Boston. 1965, Boston. 1966, Boston. 1967, Philly. 1968, Boston. 1969, Boston. 1970, New York Knicks. 1971, Milwaukee. 1972, Los Angeles. 1973, New York Knicks. 1974, Boston. 1975, Golden State Warriors. 1976, Boston. 1977, Portland. 1978, Washington. 1979, Seattle. 1980, Los Angeles. 1981, Boston. 1982, Los Angeles. 1983, Philly. 1984, Boston. 1985, Los Angeles. 1986, Boston. 1987, Los Angeles. 1988, Los Angeles. 1989, Detroit. 1990, Detroit. 1991, Chicago. 1992, Chicago. 1993, Chicago. 1994, Houston. 1995, Houston. 1996, Chicago. The year I was born, Chicago. 1998, Chicago. 1999, San Antonio. 2000, Los Angeles. 2001, Los Angeles. 2002, Los Angeles. 2003, San Antonio. 2004, Detroit. 2005, San Antonio. 2006, Miami. 2007, San Antonio. 2008, Boston. 2009, Los Angeles. 2010, Los Angeles. 2011, Dallas. 2012, Miami. 2013, Miami. 2014, San Antonio. 2015, Golden State Warriors. 2016, Cleveland. 2017, Golden State Warriors. 2018, or should we say 2018, Golden State Warriors. 2019, Toronto. 2020, Los Angeles. 2021, Milwaukee. 2022, Golden State Warriors. 2023, Denver Nuggets. 2024, Boston. And yesterday, 2025, OKC. There we go, everybody. That's all of the wins ever in the NBA. All the way going back. All the way going back from 1947 all the way to this year. That is every single win and every single team. I said in the yellow on Wikipedia. Every single champion of the NBA. You're welcome. Maybe I might throw in a link in the description. I don't know yet. But, again, it's on Wikipedia, dude. List of NBA champions for every single year. It's legit, bro. It's legit. It is absolutely legit. It is clear as fucking day. It's legit. Okay. So yeah. That is what's going on with the National Basketball Association, which finally ended yesterday night. Okay. So what is going on with my old friend, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I call now the Pittsburgh Squirrers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, otherwise I now name the Pittsburgh Squirrers, because they squeal every time they lose. They used to be my favorite team, but they're not my favorite team anymore. Mostly because of their incompetent manager, and they're never going to let go of Tommy. So I did that in the second video. I'll be left we are going to go tell you what is the Pittsburgh Steelers 2025 schedule. Okay, you want to know what is the 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers schedule. Okay, let's see, preseason. So for the preseason, we got Jacksonville, we got Tampa Bay, and we got Carolina. The preseason is August 9th, August 16th, and then August 21st. Okay? Now for the regular season. Okay. We got the New York Jets, Seattle Seahawks, or as I call them, the Seattle Sea Chickens, New England Patriots, I call them the Cheatriots, Minnesota Vikings. Week 5 is the bye week. Then we got the Cleveland Turds, as I call them, the Cleveland Turds, the Cleveland Browns. We got the Cincinnati Kitty Cats, as we call Cincinnati Bengals. Green Bay Packers, or should I really call them, the Green Bay Cheeseheads. Then we have Indianapolis Colts. After that, we got the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly known as the San Diego Chargers, but now the Los Angeles Chargers, after retirement and leave of Phillip Rivers. Then we have the Cincinnati Kitty Cats again, Cincinnati Bengals. We got the Chicago Bears, we got the Buffalo Bills, we got Baltimore Ravens, then we got Miami. And then we got Detroit. Then we got the Cleveland Turds, the Cleveland Browns. And then to be determined, we have Baltimore for Week 18. Okay, and now we are going to look up the Ravens schedule. What is the Ravens schedule? Now, since you guys want to know, for all of my Baltimore peeps out there. Okay. Preseason for Baltimore. Indianapolis. Then you guys got the Cowboys. And then you got the Commies, the Commanders. Your preseason is August 7th, August 16th, and August 23rd. Your regular season, Baltimore. You got Buffalo. You got the Cleveland Turds. You have Detroit. You have the Kansas City Swifties. You have Houston. You got the LA Rams. Week 7 is your bye week. Then you have Chicago Bears. You got Miami. You got Minnesota. You got the Cleveland Turds. You got the New York Jets. You have the Cincinnati Kitty Cats. You got the Pittsburgh Squirrels. You have the Cincinnati Kitty Cats. The New England Patriots. And then for Week 17, you have to be determined the Green Bay Cheeseheads. And then Week 18, to be determined the Pittsburgh Squirrels. Okay, so that is Baltimore. You want to know what's going on with Eagles' schedule. What is going on with the Eagles' schedule? Alright, if you're around Philadelphia, this is your schedule. You guys have a preseason. You also have the Cincinnati Kitty Cats, the Cleveland Turds, and you have the New York Jets. Your preseason is August 7th, August 16th, and then you have August 22nd. And for your first game, guys, you guys get to play the Cowboys. Then you have the Kansas City Swifties, you got the LA Rams, you got Tampa Bay, you got the Broncos, you got the Giants, you got the Vikings, you got the Giants again. Week 9's your bye. The Green Bay Cheeseheads, Detroit, Dallas Cowboys again. You got Chicago, then you got the LA Chargers, then you got the Las Vegas Raiders, formerly known as the Oakland Raiders until they just left and just went to Las Vegas. Then you got the Washington Commies, and then you got the Buffalo Bills, and to be determined you have the Washington Commies. Okay, that is your Philadelphia schedule. Okay. So, what about the schedule for Buffalo? You want to know what the Buffalo schedule is? For all my friends out there in Buffalo, New York. Alright, most of Master Eric's family is from there. My dad, who I dub as my dad of the comic book universe. The reason I do this channel. The Buffalo schedule. Okay, guys. So if you are in Buffalo, New York, here we go. Alright, regular season. Yeah, you guys don't even have a preseason, I don't think. It doesn't say. But, yeah. You start with Baltimore, and then you got the Jets, and then you got Miami, and then you got the Saints, and then you got the New England Patriots. You got the Falcons. Week 7 is your bye. You got the Carolina Kitties. Then you have the Kansas City Swifties. And then you got Miami. You play Tampa Bay again. You play Houston. You play the Pittsburgh Squirrels. Cincinnati Kitties. New England Patriots. The Cleveland Turds. You play Philly. And then for Week 18 tournament is the Jets. Okay, so yeah, that is the Buffalo schedule. For all you guys in Buffalo, New York, West New York, West State of New York, the West State of New York. So, what is the Patriots schedule, or as I call it, the Cheatriots schedule? Because, Bill Belichick's not there, and Tom Brady is not there. So, what is your schedule? Alright, what is your schedule over in New England? Little fun fact. My grandpa on my mom's side doesn't live too far from it. So, okay, here's your schedule, New England. Here's your schedule. You also have a preseason. You play the Washington Commies, then you play Minnesota, and then you play New York Giants. Your preseason, again, is on August 8th, August 16th, and August 21st. Here is your regular season. You guys got Las Vegas, Miami, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Buffalo, New Orleans, Tennessee, the Cleveland Turds, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, New York Jets, Cincinnati Kitty Cats, New York Giants. Week 14 is your bye. Week 15 is Buffalo. Week 16 is Baltimore. Week 17 is New York Jets. And your game to be determined is Miami. Yippee! So there you go, New England. There's your schedule. Alright, drop down in the comment in the chat which schedule you want me to do. Okay, since there was no participation or comments, I'm gonna have to close all these stupid tabs I don't need up anymore. Okey-dokey, okey-dokey. So now, what are we going to do? I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some Daniel Sings. Yes, some Daniel Sings. More specifically, I gotta figure out what songs from Daniel Sings. California. We are going to be doing a little bit of some, should we say, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Again, no sound, just my memory. So this is Red Hot Chili Peppers on Daniel Sings Californication. Psychic spies from China try to seal your mind's elation. Little girls so sweet and dream of silver screen quotations. And if you want these kind of dreams of Californication, it's the edge of the world and all of Western civilization. The sun may rise in the east, at least it's settled in a final location. It's understood it's Hollywood sells Californication. Pay your surgeon very well to break the spell of aging. Celebrity skin, is this your chin? Or is that what you're raging? Firstborn unicorn. Hardcore soft porn. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Marry me, girl, be my fairy to the world. Be my very own constellation. A teenage bride with a baby inside, getting high on information. And buy me a star on the boulevard, it's Californication. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. In Cobain, can you hear the spirits singing songs off station to station? And Alderon's not far away, it's Californication. Born and raised by those who praise control of population. Everybody's been there, and I don't mean on vacation. Firstborn unicorn. Hardcore soft porn. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Destruction leads to the very rough road, but it also breeds creation. Earthquakes or the girl's guitar, they're just another good vibration. The tidal waves couldn't save the world from Californication. Pay your surgeon very well to break the spell of aging. Sicker than the rest, there is no test, but this is what you are craving. Firstborn unicorn. Hardcore soft porn. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. Dream of Californication. There you go, guys. That is Californication. Now, for my other favorite song, Other Side. Here's how Other Side goes. How long will I slide? Separate my side. I don't believe it's bad. Slit my throat, it's all I am now. I heard your voice through a photograph. I thought it up, I brought up the past. Once you know you can never go back, I've got a ticket on the other side. Centuries are what it meant to be. A cemetery where I marry the sea. Stranger things could never change my mind. I've got a ticket on the other side. Ticket on the other side. Ticket on. Ticket on. How long will I slide? Separate my side. I don't believe it's bad. Split my throat, it's all I ever. Pour my life in a paper cup. The ashtray's full, I'm filling my guts. She wants to know, am I still a slut? I've got a ticket on the other side. Scarlet starlight and she's in my bed. A candidate for my soulmate blend. Push the trigger and pull the threads. I've got a ticket on the other side. Ticket on the other side. Ticket on. Ticket on. How long will I slide? Separate my side. I don't believe it's bad. Still my throat, it's all I ever. Turn me on, take me for a hard ride. Burn me out, leave me on the other side. I yell and tell that it's not my friend. I tear it down, and then it's born again. How long will I slide? Separate my side. I don't believe it's bad. Split my throat, it's all I ever. How long? I don't believe it's bad. Split my throat, it's all I ever heard. Okay, so that is some Red Hot Chili Peppers. You're welcome. So now we gotta do some Green Day. Well, actually, what we're gonna do is actually gonna do Weird Al Yankovic's Green Day. More specifically, Weird Al Canadian Idiots. Okay. So now we're gonna do the parody of American Idiot. Alright? Which again is the parody of American Idiot by Green Day. I don't wanna be a Canadian idiot. I don't wanna be some beer swilling hockey nuts. And do I look like some frostbiz and hose head? I never learned my alphabet from A to Z. They all live on donuts and loose meat. They live on the house without packing heat. Never even bring their guns to the mall. And you know what else is too funny? Their stupid monopoly money. Can't take them seriously at all. Well, maple syrup and snow's what they export. They treat Carmen like a sister, real sport. They think their silly accent is so cute. Can't understand a thing they're talking about. Sure, they've got their national health care, cheaper meds, low crime rates, and clean air. Then again, they've got Celine Dion. Eating their weight in Kraft macaroni, dreaming of driving a Zamboni all over Saskatchewan. Don't want to be a Canadian idiot. Won't figure out the temperature in Celsius. See the map, they're hovering right over us. Tell you the truth, it makes me kinda nervous. Always hear the same kind of story. Like their nose and they just say sorry. Tell me what kind of freaks are that polite. It's gotta mean they're all up to something. So quick before they see it coming. Time for a preemptive strike. Yes. Exactly. That's how it went. Alright. White and Nerdy. This is one of my favorite ones. And I do know this one. Alright. This is the parody of Riding by Shum Millionaire. Featuring Crazy Bone. Alright, my friends. This one I can do. Because I listen to it all the time. They see me mowing my front lawn. I know that they're all thinking I'm so white and nerdy. Think I'm too white and nerdy. They think I'm white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I'm on the roll with the gangsters. But so far they think I'm too white and nerdy. Cause I'm white and nerdy, too white and nerdy, too white and nerdy, really white and nerdy. First in my class here in MIT, got skills, I'm a champion at D&D. MC Esther, that's my favorite MC. Keep you at 40, I'll just have an Earl Grey tea. My rims never spin to the contrary, you'll find they're quite stationary. All my action figures are cherry. Stephen Hawkins in my library. My MySpace page is totally pimped out. Got people begging for me top 8 spaces. Yo, I know pie to 1,000 places. Ain't got no grills, but I still wear braces. I order all my sandwiches with mayonnaise. I'm a whiz at my sweeper, I can play for days. Once you see my sweet moves, you're gonna stay amazed. My fingers moving so fast I'll set the place ablaze. There's no killer rap I haven't run. Why not Pascal while I'm number one? Do vector calculus just for fun. I ain't got a gap, but I got a soldering gun. Happy Days is my favorite theme song. I can sure kick your butt in a game of ping pong. Always every trivia quiz you bring on. I'm fluent in JavaScript and it's in Klingon. Here's the part I sing on. They see me rolling on my Segway. I know in my heart they think I'm white and nerdy, too white and nerdy, too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy? Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. I like to roll with the gangsters, although it's too apparent I'm white and nerdy. Think I'm white and nerdy. I'm white and nerdy, just too white and nerdy. How'd I get so white and nerdy? I've been browsing, inspecting X-Men comics, you know I collect them. The pens in my pocket, I must protect them. My ergonomic keyboard never leaves me bored. Shopping online for a deal, some writable media. I edit Wikipedia. I memorize Holy Grail very well. I can recite it right now. ROTFLOLL. I got a business doing websites. When my friends need some code, who do they call? I do HTML for them all. Even made a homepage for my dog. Yeah, I got myself a fanny pack. They were having a sale down at the Gap. Spend my nights with a bowl of double wrap. Pop, pop, pop. Hope nowhere sees me getting freaky. I'm dirty and the extreme of whiter than sour cream. I was in a V club, Glee club, and even the chess team. Only question I ever had, I thought, do I like Kirk or do I like Picard? Spend every weekend at the Renaissance Fair. Got my name on my underwear. They see me strolling, they laughing and rolling their eyes. Cause I'm white and nerdy, because I'm white and nerdy, because I'm white and nerdy, all because I'm white and nerdy. Holy cow, I'm white and nerdy. I wanna bowl with the gangsters. But oh well, it's obvious I'm white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Cause I'm white and nerdy. It's just too white and nerdy. Look at me, I'm white and nerdy. Yeah. I love white and nerdy. That's one of my favorite songs. Okay, one more. What do we do? What is that? Let's see. Okay. Saga begins. Saga begins lyrics, Weird Al. Okay, this is the parody of American Pie. Okay, you ready? Alright, this is a parody song of American Pie. Star Wars The Phantom Menace, 1999. Okay, I've been trying to practice this one. A long, long time ago, in a galaxy far away, Naboo was under an attack. And I thought me and Qui-Gon Jinn could try to talk the Federation in, maybe cutting them a little slack. But their response, it didn't thrill us. They locked the doors and tried to kill us. We escaped that gas. Then we met Jar Jar and Boss Nass. We took a bongo from the scene, and we went to see the Queen. We all wound up on Tatooine. That's where we found this boy. Oh my, this here Anakin guy. Maybe later, someday later, now he's just a small fry. And he left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Did you know this junkyard slave isn't even old enough to shave, but he can use the Force, they say. Do you see him hitting on the Queen? Though he's just 9 and she's 14. Yeah, he's probably gonna marry her someday. Well, we all know he built C-3PO, and I've heard how fast his pod can go. And we were broke, it's true, So we made a wager or two. He was a prepubescent flying ace, and the minute Jabba started off that race, well, I knew who would win first place. Oh yeah, it was, oh boy. And we started singing, my, this here Anakin guy. Maybe Vader someday later, now he's just a small fry. He left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Now we finally got to Coruscant, the Jedi Council we would have wants to see how good the boy could be. So we took him there, we told his tale, how his metachlorians were off the scale. He might fulfill or prophecy. Oh, the council was impressed, of course, but could he bring balance to the force? They interviewed the kid. Oh, training there for a bit, because Yoda sensed in him much fear, and Qui-Gon said, now listen here, just stick it up your pointy ear. I still will teach this boy. And we were singing, my, this here Anakin died. Maybe Vader someday later, now he's just a small fry. He left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye. Say, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. We caught a ride back to Naboo, 'cause Queen Amidala wanted to. I think we would have liked to stay. We all had fought in that epic war, and it wasn't long at all before little hotshot flew his crane and saved the day. And in the end, some Gungans died, some ships blew up, and pirates were fried. A lot of throats were broken, the battle droids are broken, and the Jedi I admired most met up with Darth Maul, now he's toast. Well, I'm still here and he's a ghost. I guess I'll train this boy. So I was singing, my, this here Anakin guy. Maybe Vader someday later, now he's just a small fry. He left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Yeah, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. And we were singing, my, this here Anakin died. Maybe Vader someday later, now he's just a small fry. And he left his home and kissed his mommy goodbye, saying, soon I'm gonna be a Jedi. Okay, that concludes Daniel Sings for this episode of the Late Night Videos. Time check now is 10:30. So, what are we gonna do now? Well, first we gotta check our messages, and we gotta see what's going on with my brother Christian Hallman, who I call my sports expert. What is going on with the sports expert? Well, what's going on with sports expert? Yeah, he gave me a thumbs up. And Brandon also said he was going to sweep soon. Good. Alright, so now, what are we doing now? Well, since we concluded another segment of Daniel Sings, what are we going to do for this next part? Because you guys want to know what's going on with a specific movie. More specifically, we're talking about the new Pixar movie, Elio. Okay, so what is going on with Elio? Okay, this is from a friend we call Gizmodo. LEO gave Pixar the worst box office open ever. Alright, it's a bad open weekend. Might not be necessarily spelling out doom for Pixar's movie. It's a pattern that's been emerging that might shape up what's to continue with our animation studios. LEO might have garnered some very solid reviews, but low for Pixar considering its back catalog is still very solid. But it apparently wasn't enough to save it from setting a very pretty grim record. Alas, the movie is now currently Pixar's worst performing movie ever. And while there is still plenty of time for things to turn around, what it might say about the future of Pixar. What is going on with the Pixar animation studios? It's not feeling so optimistic anymore. No, it's not feeling any optimistic anymore. Variety, where we do a lot of our news from, reports that LEO is ranked the third in the current box office this weekend, behind the continued success of DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon, and a launch that came up 28 years later, and it ranked up about $21 million. The total only came under roughly $25 to $30 million. That's been anticipated for their opening weekend. The film doesn't do that much better internationally. LEO only has a $35 million global box office revenue. There are perhaps multiple factors that can be blamed. Mostly that's because Pixar is ultimately in a lot of impact because of the pandemic and several of their original films off from onto streaming. So, leading up to families anticipating their film coming to home sooner rather than later. Okay. God damn it. Anyway, technical difficulties with the camera. But anyway, let me repeat that again, in case you weren't listening. There are perhaps multiple factors that can be blamed. Pixar is arguably in some way still feeling the impact of the pandemic, shutting out several of their original films straight into streaming, leading most to families anticipating the film coming to home sooner rather than later. Also, Disney's marketing of their film, which has been almost not at all, and ramping into the wake of a positive review, even though those positive reviews do not exist. It's supposed to be a very vague sci-fi story with very vague sci-fi vibe, rather than a compelling emotion story in the heart of films. And it doesn't save them at all. It's not necessarily all doom and gloom in LEO yet. The prior holder of the infamous record for the worst opening weekend of the Pixar is Elemental, which also has faced very similar marketing and schedule changes when it was launched, and it only made a tune of $29.6 million back in the year of 2023. However, incredible words of mouth on the street has said they turned things around for Elemental. Elemental ended up leading off with a box office run of $155 million domestically and a $496 million globally. Given the similarity of circumstance here, with every chance LEO can find, should hopefully find a happier ending to the theaters. Perhaps even if they did, it's still very far from reaching the high that people wanted. And Disney, being Disney, expect the Pixar releases in this point Not every Pixar movie since post-pandemic has suffered the same fate. In fact, Inside Out 2 broke the record last year and it took over $1 billion. But that's because people like Inside Out. And because of that success, perhaps more keen reflects of ongoing broader trend of industry, kids movies are trying to make a comeback after the COVID-19 has sent all of their other films off into streaming platforms. Yeah. But the ones that are leading the comeback aren't original animations no more. They're just sequels and live-action reboots of familiar brands like Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. Of the 5 confirmed films on the slate in the next 5 years, just 2 of those projects are original ideas. One of them is called Hoppers. That's supposed to come out next year. And there's another project called Gato. That's supposed to happen in 2027. And right now, they're just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich between heavy hit sequels like Toy Story 5, Incredibles 3, and Coco 2. Only time will say as what will happen with Elio and his fate in the box office. With this being rough news, just about yesterday, in fact, when they broke this news on the web, it's just signs of an increasingly dire trend. Want to know more news about Star Wars? Find out everything we know over here on Gizmodo.com. Okay, what is my brother Chris saying? What's up? So now, this has caught my eyes. This is from our friend comicbook.com. It's now official that Mr. Fantastic is now the replacement for Tony Stark. It doesn't surprise me that much because they're both 2 of the brightest minds of the Marvel Universe. It's official. Marvel has confirmed Mr. Fantastic is Tony Stark's new replacement in the MCU. 6 years after his retirement, Marvel has finally found the answer to who replaces Iron Man. And it's way more than beyond a suit. Ever since Tony Stark snapped his finger and permanently ended the universe on Avengers Endgame in 2019, Marvel Studios has struggled to fill in the gaps. And boy oh howdy, they have been having trouble filling in the gaps. Even if they don't really recognize it at first, which is suspected. The legacy of Iron Man isn't just about technology and money. It's about presence, leadership, and narrative story. Being smart and having a sprinkle of paranoia. It's also about being the smart guy in the room. And that actually is a bit of a problem. So, how do we do that? The Marvel Universe has dangled potential successors in front of us. Again, Riri Williams, who we're going to be talking about later on a live show this week, is suiting up as Ironheart. Also, James Rhodes is now on permanent hold right now, and we don't know when his Armor Wars is going to happen. Doctor Strange being a new guy who makes informed mistakes in the greater good, but none of them have quite landed the same way Stark has. The problem is, Tony wasn't just an inventor or a leader. He is the nervous system to the Avengers. His smart, his anxiety, and engine are the very pivotal moments, And now, even 5 years since his death, Marvel has to find someone who can actually replace him. Not just a suit of armor, not just money, not just wealth, but just having a moral, emotional person for the architecture in the universe. Reed Richards is now that person to build on and inherit everything that Tony Stark has left behind. This is where we have Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards, stepping in for the void and being the next leader of the MCU. Possibly the face of the MCU. Fantastic Four, as I told you, comes out in theaters next month. And actually a couple weeks. It doesn't hit until the 25th of July. And then on the first weekend of July is Jurassic World. The second weekend in July is Superman. And the third week of July is Fantastic Four. I told you that. Recent interviews with Empire says the director shares there is a very cerebral Reed Richards, and there is, again, he is a hero, a leader, a husband, a father, and a friend, and much, much, much more. Pedro Pascal now taken on a more interesting character, Reed Richards, and by doing that, it's the ultimate version of catastrophizing a brain that has overview of the threats on a more mathematical level, but also being emotionally available. It is a very fascinating contradiction. It's just part of catastrophizing what should stand out. The idea of the arc reactor is Tony's entire character. So, again, Tony just doesn't build armors or suits because of how he looked in them, and not because he wanted to be famous. He did that because he was afraid of what would happen if he doesn't. Ultron was a mistake, as we know from the second movie of the Avengers, that name. So was his idea of supporting the Sokovia Accords, we know from Civil War. He lived in a fear of the next alien invasion, hence Thanos, Infinity War, and Endgame. The next moment, we just don't see it coming. He also made Pepper Potts a suit that is more powerful than his own. So Reed Richards, again with his mathematical omnipotence, isn't just smart, he's frickin' smart. Which means it makes him a perfect character to really inherit what Tony has left behind. Yes, hello there. What makes Reed's arc so compelling isn't just he's smart, it's the emotional cost and the fact of being smart. The same curse of knowledge that Thanos said when he said to Tony as soon as they met for that first time. That's exactly why Stark became such a rich character in the later half of the Infinity Saga. So again, Reed Richards is someone who we can see in the end and beginning. So he's still very invulnerable and is the same human mistakes that Tony has. Overreaching, having misjudgment, isolation, disguising as confidence, and just like Tony, Reed also has eventually been with some people who follow not just because of his technology, but because he is afraid and about his confident action. So, with Fantastic Four coming out in a few weeks, Reed Richards is just a character matching what Pedro Pascal is promising. Again, with the Marvel Universe now having the replacement for Tony, now, just as Robert Downey Jr. comes back from the dead, But this time, not as Iron Man, but he comes back from the dead as none other than Doctor Doom. It's interesting because Iron Man often skated across the line of hero and villain, even in accidents. So, at times that were precisely because of fear that drove him away, and because of that, now he makes Mr. Fantastic just more compelling. Okay, so that is what's going on with Mr. Fantastic. Now, taking in, filling in the shoes where Iron Man once was. Okay. Yes. So what is the update on Blade? This will be the last thing we talk about. What is the update on Blade? Well, what's going on with the movie Blade? Or the reboot of Blade? Well, the Marvel Universe reboot on Blade has spent many, many years in development limbo, or as we like to call, development hell. And because the project is so far from encouraging, we speak to our friend on Variety News on where the update is on Blade. And to indicate it's probably on the back burner of the Marvel Universe. So what is the update on Blade? The Blade reboot, as I guess we'll call it. Marvel Cinematic Universe and their Blade project. It was first announced in 2019 in the summer of San Diego Comic-Con. Again, they were supposed to have a villain from the Netflix series appear on the stage in the movie, but, however, they failed to gain any real ground. Because during the production, there was, again, the COVID, and then there was the Hollywood strikes, and the delay of everything else, and the movie has failed to happen. So, because it failed to happen, the original Blade, Wesley Snipes, he made a cameo in last summer's movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. And that movie is good. The only superhero movie last year that's good. I hate to say that, but it was the only good superhero movie last year. Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. Wesley Snipes. His cameo again with Jennifer Garner's Elektra, Daphne Keene's X-23, and Channing Tatum's Never Realized Gambit, each getting pruned by the universe by the TVA into a literal wasteland known as the Void, not to get confused with the Void, Century Void. Now, joining forces with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool was Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, but not the Wolverine we remember, is another Wolverine from another timeline. And they are trying to stop the sinister Cassandra Nova. So Wesley Snipes and his Blade even go into the Deadpool-style fourth wall, where they're like, oh, what happens with the Blade project? Commenting what will happen despite the many variants of other superheroes within the Marvel Universe, in the multiverse more specifically. He says, there's only been one Blade, and there's only ever going to be one Blade. At least that's what we thought. So, Marvel reveals the best new look of the new Blade, but it's not what you think. Again, we're going to continue. So, prior to the first Wesley Snipes Blade movie, going all the way back to the 2000s. Blade is largely unknown as a Marvel character until we realize in the general public because, again, he started his career back in his first movie back in the year of 1998. They even tried to make a video game and several other things with Blade's name. Because that's why he's literally called the Daywalker. So, Wesley Snipes then had to reprise his role again in 2002 and then 2004. The later, which again had a box office trouble, which had ended his franchise until last year, when Ryan Reynolds was like, okay, I know you haven't been in a movie since 2004, come join me on Deadpool and Wolverine. And that's what they did. And so they did a send-off. 6 years since the announcement, it's been incredibly weird why Marvel Studios wanted to make a Blade movie when you already have an Academy Award winner actor that has experienced many roadblocks because of the original Blade screenwriter has expressed his confusion. While the new guy still seems enthusiastic about playing him in a more comprehensive way than just his cameo he did on the post-credit of the Eternals. The only MCU performance of the date we know from the new Blade, he basically wants to paint the Marvel Cinematic Universe and their Blade, and again, as illusion as any kind of priority status in the Marvel Studios. In any case, again, if he continues his career in any prosperity with Marvel Studios, he might just have to buckle down and go someplace else. Or Ryan Reynolds can come in and he can propose an idea for Wesley Snipes' Blade to help him kind of make it more like a realistical option. So, again, if you want to watch Blade 1998, 2004, and then Blade Trinity, or Blade 3, then you can go watch it on Amazon Prime, Google Play Movie, Apple TV, or Fandango from HHO. Okay, so that's all, guys. Again, this is another late night video. This is Daniel Hutchins from the Hutchins Hut. And as I like to say, as I close off this video, yeah buddy, 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 yeah buddy. And until next time, see you next time on the Huts. That's all, folks. That's all, folks. That's all, folks. I'll see you tomorrow.